Welcome to the Respectful Divorce Podcast. If you're considering a divorce, it's important to know that you have options for how you divorce. On the Respectful Divorce Podcast, we explore those options and provide advice from divorce professionals. I'm your host today, Tim Crouch, and we're talking with Mary Jones, an Austin, Texas area collaborative divorce attorney, about her practice and about collaborative divorce. Mary, thanks for joining us today on the Respectful Divorce Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Tim.
So let's just begin with that easy first question. Maybe it's easy, maybe it's not, but why divorce? How did you end up becoming a divorce attorney?
I had been a junior high and senior high teacher and coach for 9 years because I had a number of hearing impaired students in the last school that I was teaching at. And so I had to go to a lot of IEP and ARD meetings, and it was the attorney from the school district first that suggested I go to law school because there were multiple things I could do with that license, with a degree. So I chose law school primarily with the idea of going into school law and representing teachers. At the time I graduated from law school, my husband was working in the tech industry, and his company had a big reorganization, which brought us here to Austin. So I pounded the pavement. This is literally back in 1992. You weren't researching a whole lot on the internet. You literally went and got the Blue Book here in Texas. You figured out where the law firms were and went on your feet downtown. I did that for months. I got a call from a secretary for a head partner of a law firm who called me and said, "Look, this is a totally unauthorized call. Nobody knows I'm calling you. I just really like you. Hey, are you interested in doing family law?" And it was a natural transition for me.
And so what is it about the divorce world, if you would, and the clients that you love?
I like helping people. I think when you go into a profession, especially teaching, and it's amazing how many other attorneys and judges I have met in my 30-some years of practice who started out in teaching and eventually went to law school. And I think it's a heart for caring about people and knowing, especially in divorce, they're going through one of the most difficult times in their life. And if I can make that even just the slightest bit easier for them, all the better. That's my goal. You know, doctors have a motto, at first, do no harm. Unfortunately, there are divorce attorneys who don't see it that way. But I will also say that there are probably multiple times more attorneys who practice family law who feel more the way I do than see it as a business model. And I love being able to help people see, especially since collaborative has come out, that there's a different way to divorce that doesn't turn you into the worst adversaries possible against each other. That, to me, totally destroys your relationship, but most especially can very seriously destroy the family.
Which is a really interesting transition to that collaborative question. What brought you to collaborative?
I hated seeing what people go through in the courtroom. Horrific and embarrassing questions that they're asked on a witness stand. I would say collaborative first came out in the early 2000s. And so there were a number of us attorneys here in Austin that started really talking about it and the training, and we all jumped on board right away because we didn't want to keep our practice going in a way that didn't offer our clients an option other than the courthouse. And so collaborative puts you in a very safe space that's totally confidential, but you have a team that is working together to help you and your spouse come up with as much of a creative win-win as you possibly can get. So that in the end, you wind up, hopefully, in a better place relational wise with your soon to be ex-spouse. And if you have kids, hopefully as better co-parents with your kids, because you will have created an agreement that you can live with.
Talk about the team a little bit. Who makes up the team?
The two attorneys. And then the neutral mental health professional. The incredible benefit that you get out of that when that person is, in essence, both your communications facilitator during meetings. So they help run the meetings, they keep everything on track, and they certainly keep them from going off the rails. But that person also works with the parents after they've been prepped by their attorneys to develop a parenting plan together. One of the things I love also about collaborative law is this fee shifting. Instead of paying your two attorneys at the attorney hourly rate to help you figure this out and how you want to structure your parenting plan, you get to go see a mental health professional who has been trained in the collaborative process, who helps you do that. So you are paying one professional where that's their area of expertise, human behavior, and they get to help you with that. Another team member is the neutral financial professional. Again, you're fee shifting. And instead of one attorney collecting all the information, or each attorney collecting it from their own clients and then sharing it with one another, you once again are using a professional where that's their area of expertise. And they're the ones that are gathering the information for you. They're helping you come up with budgets, both current and what it's going to look like post-divorce. And that person's also helping you to be able to come up with creative ideas as to how you're going to structure some sort of a division of property.
And when you talk about fee shifting, I think some of that is also to say that you're shifting those fees to someone who charges a much lower hourly rate than the attorneys do with more expertise.
Always. Always, yes. And I think that's one of the selling points to clients as to bringing that other person in on the team. So why would you not do that? Why would you not pay a financial professional whose hourly rate is lower than either one of your attorneys to do that work? And you know they're going to do it much more efficiently than the lawyers are, because we don't do that all day, every day. We do it, but not like a financial professional does.
So this is the Respectful Divorce podcast. We're doing this before the upcoming Divorce with Respect Week. What does respect mean in a divorce?
Showing common courtesy to the other person and listening more carefully to what it is they're asking for, and digging down deeper to ask the question, why? As opposed to becoming reactive. You learn to become more responsive, and you learn to become a better listener. So often emotions are running high. People generally, when their bad behaviors come out, it's because they're operating from a place of fear. You could be making plenty of money that when the divorce is over, financially, you're going to be just fine. But that doesn't mean you're not going to have fears. You are. And so coming from a place where you know that there's a team looking out for everybody, and there's more than just your attorney looking out for you, it puts you at a place, hopefully, where you can show more consideration for the other person, because it's not going to be used against you. Instead, it's going to be used for everyone's benefit. And being able to be in the same room as the person that you are getting a divorce from, and being able to learn better communication skills, better listening skills, is going to make you a better person all the way around. We can all use that.
And I guess one of the things that I hear about collaborative divorce is it puts you in a better place after the divorce to move on with your life and not sort of carry some of the baggage that might have come out of litigation or that you're still carrying with you from the divorce itself. Collaborative sort of jettisons you into your new life.
Absolutely. And that's a really good point, Tim. Collaborative also gives attorneys the opportunity to be that attorney and counselor at law. They are there to help you see both the ramifications of your behavior and how you speak, how you talk, how you listen, how you approach things, which may not be at the start the best way to do things. But it puts you in a position to have those natural fears calm down to a place where you can really then start focusing on, okay, what do I want my life to look like post-divorce? And how can I create a resolution to all the decisions that we have to make with my spouse in such a way that we both truly feel like, in some ways, we won. And we're going to be fine moving forward. It also gives the attorneys a greater opportunity to be able to look out for the client's economic welfare 2 years down the road, because people are too wound up that that's not what they're thinking about. And it gives everybody the opportunity to be as creative as you can be in structuring your agreements for what works best for your circumstances and your family.
So we're doing this podcast ahead of Divorce with Respect Week, which is an opportunity for people to talk with divorce professionals and answer questions that they might have. What should someone expect in an initial consultation with you, and what should they bring to that consultation?
In an initial consultation with me, generally my initial consultations take 2 hours. I know there's a lot of attorneys out there that advertise 30 minutes for free. Well, there's the old adage, you get what you pay for. There's no way somebody can understand your circumstances and your situation in 30 minutes and give you any kind of meaningful information that you're going to take afterwards. In the 2 hours that I spend with somebody, we go into, tell me the history of your marriage. What brought you here? How did you get to this point? One common one I hear, and it's amazing to me, I still hear it. Well, it's community property state, so everything's 50-50. No, it is if you die, but not if you get a divorce in Texas. Now, in the collaborative situation, yeah, we're all going to look at those things, but we're going to look at them from the mindset of, where are these in the importance level, and how can we best address the issues? Which ones really are either high priority or not so much? It may seem that way to you, that it's extremely high priority, until you get the big 64,000-foot view and you're able to see everything. Sometimes people come in and they think, well, my spouse's work, they've made most of the money, and either there's an inequality and disparity in the income levels of the parties, or one parent has been a stay-at-home parent for all these years. The other one's built up their career over 20 some odd years, possibly. And they come in with the thought that, well, my spouse said they work, they earned all the money, so it's theirs. And that's certainly not the case either. And we talk about creative ways of dealing with things, both, and many times, the two biggest assets people sometimes have are retirement and the house. And you've got kids, so what are you going to do? And so we talk about that. We go through multiple scenarios. And one of the things I always tell people is, because the first question most people want to ask is, how much is this going to cost me? Which my response to that is, well, I don't have a crystal ball. I have no way of predicting how your spouse is going to behave, how they're going to react to things, and who they're going to hire as an attorney, how that attorney is going to be. So that's number one. Number two, it's kind of like going into the grocery store without a list. And if you've ever done that, you always know you come out of that grocery store having spent multiple times more than you ever thought you were going to. And you get to the cash register, and now all of a sudden you've got this bill to pay, and you're like, what the heck did I just buy? That can happen in a divorce case too, very quickly. Or you can be more intentional about how you're going to spend your money and what process you're going to go through in this divorce. Do I want it in a situation where I'm in a safe environment where the two attorneys are not seeing themselves as zealous advocates and adversaries to fight tooth and nail 100% for their client, and doesn't matter what happens with the kids. Kids will be fine. They're resilient. Instead, you can do it in a collaborative process where your two attorneys are working together to help both of you come up with a resolution with as many creative ideas as possible that work for you, your specific situation. And you have a lot more control over how much it's going to cost you. Because the question's always going to be, and I remind my clients of this, you always have two choices. You can choose to fight over everything you possibly can, and you can do that in a collaborative case too. You can make things difficult because you just want to be difficult sometimes, but it's just going to increase your attorney's fees. So you're going to take your hard-earned money and give it to lawyers who are going to take care of themselves and their families, or you can decide, I truly am here to work things out. I truly am here to listen and to be part of the equation that helps get to resolution and save as much money as we possibly can to take care of ourselves and our kids.
All right. We've been talking with Mary Jones, who's a collaborative divorce attorney in the Austin area. Appreciate your joining us today on the Respectful Divorce podcast, Mary.
Well, appreciate you having me, Tim.
This important programming note, Divorce with Respect Week is coming up March 3rd through 9th. During Divorce with Respect Week, you can talk with lawyers, divorce coaches, and divorce financial experts for free to learn more about the divorce process and your options. Simply go to divorcewithrespectweek.com to find professionals near you. Again, Divorce with Respect Week is March 3rd through 9th. For more information, it's divorcewithrespectweek.com. We'll put a link to that in the show notes, along with a link to Mary Jones's website. This is Tim Crouch reminding you that collaborative divorce is a better way to untie the knot.